even get it one pass across the driveway. So, but anyway, I do appreciate you guys logging on. And I say that in all sincerity, because I know it is 4:30 on a Thursday. And I know that you guys are tired. And so I think the fact that you have, made a decision or a commitment to spend a little bit of time with us to learn more about Ready Rosie says a lot about your commitment to your family. So I want this to be really well spent time for you guys. And so if you'll just put in the chat real quickly whether or not you have created your classrooms. And you can just put yes, no, whatever, okay? Because if you all have already all created your classrooms, then I'm not even going to go over that step. So if you want to just put in the chat real quickly whether you have already created your classrooms. No shaming if you haven't. This is a year of extending grace for everything. So just go ahead. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Okay. That's no one else needs to answer because we've got a couple that haven't set their classrooms up. So I'm going to go ahead and just walk you through that real quickly. I also want you to, put a question in the chat or unmute yourself. Like I said, we're small, so you can just say, hey, hold on a minute. What about this? So the very first time you log on to Ready Rosie, and if you haven't, Shauna, will you put in the chat the readyrosie.com? You just go to readyrosie.com and you'll click sign in, and your username is going to always be the email that you use for work. And then your password is going to be what you put in. So, so the very first time that, okay, so Melba, you're an administrator. Okay, so you won't set up, but you'll be an expert on how to do that to support your teachers. So
okay, what did you say our username will be?
Your whatever email you use for work,
okay,
your work email address. And then your password is whatever you put in the first time will be your password. So the very first time you log on to Ready Rosie, and Melva, yours will look a little different because you'll have an admin dashboard. But for the teachers, the first time they log on, it's going to bring you up to what we call your getting started page. And so take a deep breath, because what I'm going to share with you this afternoon, you can come back and actually watch a real short little Loom video on a lot of the things that I'm going to share with you this afternoon. So so don't hyperventilate thinking that you've got to remember everything that I say. You also can download this quick start guide, which if you're like me and you want a hard copy so you can kind of move your finger down the steps, you can click right here, download it, and print it off so that you have a hard copy. If you want to give your parents a heads up and send out a flyer, this red invite flyer is the one that we recommend that you send out to your families. It's this one right here. And so it comes in English and Spanish, and we just added it in Khmer. And then we have a couple other languages that have not been loaded to the website. So if you need like Arabic or Vietnamese or simple Chinese, let me know, because I can get you that translated flyer. So the first paragraph just tells your parents, hey, we're partnering with Ready Rosie, we're excited. Then it tells them we want them to watch the video, do the activity, and then even leave a comment back for you about how it went. So these comments I think are great because they can really help inform your instruction, how to support them, and things like that. The back side of the flyer tells them right here to keep an eye out for either an email or a text, because that's how we communicate with the parents is either email or text. And then it's going to show them the 4 easy little steps they're going to go through to register with Ready Rosie, to participate in the platform. And so the first screen they'll see, they're going to pick their language, English or Spanish. Then the second screen, they put their first name, last name, type next. The third screen, they're going to decide moving forward, do I want it as an email or do I want to receive stuff by text, or both? And then they'll put in whatever is the, you know, the information, either their email or their text, hit register, and they are registered in Ready Rosie. And it takes them then to a little welcome to Ready Rosie that gives them a high level overview of what Ready Rosie is. So that's how easy it is for your parents to enroll in the program. So all of that is on that getting started page right here. So you can always go back and click on this getting started page to refresh your memory. So I call this your black menu box. And so to create your classroom, you're going to click over here on Classroom. And you'll notice that I have a lot of classrooms from demoing and doing webinars, but you won't have any. You'll just see this Add New Class. And so you're going to click Add New Class. You're going to title it whatever you want to call that class. You can put a description in if you want to. You don't have to. Go ahead and pre-select the age group. This will just make it easier if you need to add a student later or something like that. So I'm just going to do pre-K. And then if you want to assign a beautiful color, you can. And then click Save. And that's how easy it is to create your classroom. So my classroom is created, but you'll notice that it automatically came to this Manage Classroom tab. And you'll see that I don't have anything. Don't have any students, don't have any families, don't have any pending invitations, don't have any scheduled invitations. I got nothing because I haven't set anything up yet. So I'm going to click right here on Invite Families because I need to roster out my classroom. So I'm going to click Invite Families, and then you can add up to 25 children at a time. So I'm just going to put in the children here. Oops, and try to spell correctly. And because you already selected that age group that you needed, you don't have to go and select this every single time. Then you're going to put in the email address and or cell phone number. You don't have to put both, but we have to have one or the other. And so then you're just going to put in the next child and the next child and the next child, and either put in their email or their cell phone number or both. Once you have all your children rostered out, you're going to scroll down here to the bottom and you have the choice of inviting right now, and those invitations will go out right then, or scheduling the invitation. So maybe when we get off this call, you're just pumped up, ready to go, and you go ahead and create your class, but you think, oh, wait, I want to send that registration flyer out so they have a heads up. So I don't want it to go out right now. Maybe I wanted to actually those invitations to go out on Monday. So you can schedule these invitations to go out at a later date from when you actually create your classroom, and you click Submit. And then voila, it says students are added and invitations will be sent out at noon on February the 1st. And so, and it shows me right there is my one little student who is, whose invitation is gonna go out to her parents. When I click on student data right here, I can see that Maddie Fullenwider is in my class, and her parents have not accepted the invitation yet because they haven't even gone out yet. And so you'll be able to see after your parents start accepting those invitations who still hasn't connected. One thing before I move to a class that actually has some information in it, some data in it, is you can assign additional people to your classroom. So maybe you have an assistant. Milva, maybe you want to be assigned to some classrooms so that you can send content out, or maybe you don't want to, or maybe your family advocates or family service workers want to be assigned to different teachers' classrooms because they want to be able to send out some of our videos to their families. So whoever that additional person might be, the teacher would just come right up here where it says assign a teacher. And then all the teachers who have teacher access to that location, that site, would simply, you would just select their name and click submit, and then that additional teacher is now assigned to that classroom. So that means that she can send content out to the class as a whole or to individual children. And she can comment back and forth with families as well as you can, the owner, the teacher of the classroom. So let me go back now here. So I can go down to a class that has some data. At the bottom of your classroom page, you'll be able to see your recent activity by your families. So I'm going to click on our other demo class, and you can see how many additional people are assigned to this class. So don't think, oh, I don't know how many people I can assign to my classroom. You can assign quite a few people. So I clicked on that classroom, and now you can see the data that is accumulating in your classroom. So I can see that I or other teachers who are assigned to my classroom have sent out a total of 58 custom playlists, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. My class as a whole has watched 676 videos. And by watching that many videos, they have supported 1,500 learning outcomes as well as over 2,100 family outcome opportunities. And I'll talk about those in just a second. Then as I scroll on down, here's my roster, and I can see at a classroom level, and I can download and print this report right here. And we have some teachers that will print it the first day of every month because they want to see that data for the previous whole month. But I can see my roster here, and this is what I was saying. I can see at a quick glance who has been engaging with the Ready Rosie platform, who still has not accepted that invitation, who accepted the invitation, but look, this little person here, they haven't done anything with Ready Rosie right there. So you can see this high level data at a classroom level. As I scroll on down, I can see the names of all the playlists that have been created and sent to my classroom over here. The ones that are hyperlinks are ones that I have actually created. These are playlists that other people who are connected to my classroom have sent. And then I can see the most recent caregiver activity. So I can see who has been, recently engaging in the platform. Now, I also want to be able to see that data by an individual student. So I'm going to click on Baylor Bear here, this little person. And it shows that she's watched 559 videos, but I want to know more than that. And this individual student report can be printed right here as well. So I can see by the little pie chart that she's watched 450, or she has supported 458 language and literacy learning opportunities by the different videos that she and her family have watched and the activities that they've done. And then I can see the other categories, and I can see the family outcomes that have been supported by the different videos that they've watched. I can see those subcategories of family outcomes right here. And if I click on language and literacy, what she had supported 458. So I can click on that, and now I can see those subcategories that of those, 458 learning outcomes, literacy, language and literacy outcomes that have been supported, 118 were in the subgroup of listening and speaking. 52 of those were in phonological awareness. So now I can see those individual subcategories in those broad categories where those learning outcomes have been supported. The math, you can see those subcategories, as well as social and emotional, and even health and well-being. And just so you know, we take the language for our learning outcomes and our family outcomes, our family opportunities, straight from the Head Start language. When we started, creating this, we were trying to, figure out how to word them and what to call them. And finally we said, wait, Head Start has a great language. Their language is great. Why do we need to reinvent the wheel? So if you are, following Head Start, you'll see the language will be identical. Then as you scroll on down that individual child's page, now I can see the actual videos that that child has watched with their family. So I can see that on January 27th at 1:46, Baylor and her parents, or mom or whoever, watched Move While You Sing. This is automatically recorded. Anytime they watch a video, it will be recorded, and how many times they watch it. But if you want them to check, they liked it, it was helpful, they actually did the activity, or if you want them to leave you a comment, you'll need to tell them that they need to make sure that they respond with those things. You can see here that in August, when they watched Grasp and Grab, they clicked that they liked it, it was helpful, and then they left the comment on that video, thanks for sharing this. Then when you look over here, you can see that by watching Move While You Sing supported 3 learning outcomes and 4 family outcomes. So that's the documentation you can get at the individual student level. So now I want to show you some things about playlists over here in my little menu box. And remember, you can go back to that Getting Started page and watch that video on Classroom. And now you can go back and watch the little video on creating a playlist. So that you know, whether you do anything past getting your families registered or not, your families are going to receive an automatic email or text from us. We call them playlists every single Monday. And we have some partners who get their classes created, get their children uploaded, and they're like, I'm good. And they don't think about Ready Rosie again, which is fine. Those parents are getting that Monday playlist from us faithfully, and they also have access to the platform so they can explore and watch videos on their own as well. But you guys also have the ability to what we call create your own playlist. And so those Monday playlists that we send out, they're really good, but they're not going to be aligned specifically to what you might be teaching or learning that particular week. And so you have the ability to write your own, create your own. So I clicked on playlist, and then I'm going to just click on create a playlist. Here, you're going to put your title in, and just for time, I'm just going to just do nothing here. Now, understand, if you have families that chose Spanish as their language, and that's how they want the information sent to them, everything we send out will automatically go in that preferred language. But if you're creating your own, you're going to have to translate it. And if you can translate, you're going to click on this Espanol button up here. And if you can write in Spanish, I wish I could, then you're just going to retype your title and your message. I can't, so I'm going to have to cheat and click the translate for me. And it will automatically translate my message for me. Then I'm going to click the class that I want to get it. Where was my... and then I'm going to click continue. Now that message that you write, it can be as wordy or as, as short as you want it to be. So now you've got your message, you've got your title, and now you can choose the videos that you want to send out. So let's say that next week you are actually going to be talking about shapes. And so I want to find videos that are going to support the shape objectives that I'm working on next week with my children. So I can sort by categories. So I can filter for math and come down here. I know that shapes are part of geometry and spatial reasoning. And so I'm going to filter it that way. And so it pulls up all of the videos that have to do with geometry and spatial reasoning, but I don't want kindergarten or first grade. So I'm going to also filter by age. So I'm going to come down and choose 4 or 5-year-olds. Now notice that our content in our library goes from birth through 3rd grade. You and your families have access to this entire range of all of our videos. Your families do, because we know they have more than one child, probably. And we want them to be able to access any activity for any of their children, whether they are actually in your program or not. And the other thing is, having been in the kindergarten classroom for a long, long time, we know that not every single one of your children are all on the exact same level, really probably on any given day. And so we want you to be able to dip down if you need to go and send out a younger activity, or go up if you need to send out a little more challenging one, because we want you to be able to individualize and differentiate like you need to. But I'm going to filter by the age. And then if you're feeling real wild and crazy, you can even filter by location. So probably not right now, since you all have so much snow on the ground, but when the weather starts turning nice and you want to encourage your families to get outside, you could even filter for activities that have to do with shapes that are outside, either on walks or at the park or wherever. You also could even put in a keyword shapes, and it will filter that way. I think I messed it up though. I don't know why it's not. Sorry, I'm self-talking. We've had like our filter thing has been possessed. And so it hasn't done well. So I'm just gonna put in the keyword shapes. And then it's going to hopefully, there we go. So now it is filtered for all the videos that have to do with shapes that are for 4 or 5-year-olds. From here, I can click on the eyeball to preview it, or I can just click the plus sign right here, and you'll notice it pops up over here. So I want to send home finger shapes, and I also want to send home ways to cut a sandwich. One nice thing is you don't have to worry about the Spanish, because the Spanish videos will automatically be populated. Now, maybe those are the only 2 quote unquote academic ones that I want to send home, but maybe I want to see, I'm going to put in the keyword COVID because that's easier to find the videos than going through the research and answer and then health and well-being. And so when the pandemic hit, we stopped and filmed some videos that are helpful during the pandemic. Some of them are specific, like how do I talk to my child about the coronavirus? But then some are just really good general kind of little mini professional developments for your families, like what habits help our families stay healthy and minimize, or when should I keep my child home to prevent getting other children sick? Healthy hand washing habits. I think I want to send that out. And then this one has been shared a lot with our partners. How can I recognize signs of stress in my child, and what can I do? Because we know that even the youngest children are going through stress through this time, and they don't have the language to say, I'm feeling a little stressed. And so it may come out in undesirable behaviors, or a change in sleep patterns or eating patterns, or whatever. So that's all I want to send out to my families this week. So here I have 6 action items. I can save this playlist. I can send it right this minute and my families will get it. I can schedule it to go out. Maybe I don't want it to go out tomorrow. Maybe I want it to go out on Monday. So I could actually click, select it to go out on Monday, schedule that. I can copy the link to share on any other platform that I'm using. I can preview it. And so this is what it will look like when your families receive it. And then they can just click right here and it'll take them directly to that video. And I can also print a hard copy if there are any of my families that maybe for whatever reason don't have access to the internet, either on their phone or computer or tablet. And so they want a hard copy, so I can print a copy of it. The nice thing about when you create a playlist like that, a custom playlist, you will get what we call a playlist report. And I apologize, my computer is, usually it's fast about this time. So here's the one that I just created. So I'm going to click on it. And you can see here's the lone child in my class. Here are the 3 videos I sent out, or I'm going to send out on Monday. So next week, I could actually look at this playlist report and see if Maddie and her family have engaged in the things that I have sent out that are specifically supporting what we're learning in school. So not only can I have an individual child report, I can have this report by classroom of what is specifically supporting what I'm doing in the classroom. And again, you can print this report as well. There are some playlists. Maybe you want to send something home, but you're not quite ready to just start from scratch. And so when you click on playlists, any playlists that we have right here are up for grabs for you to use. And so whether you use teaching strategies, creative curriculum or not, doesn't matter. These are aligned. The beginning focus questions, those are those beginning questions of the year that we talk about, like what names do we need to know? What are our rules? What are our routines? Just good basic things. We also have some studies. If you're going to be doing gardening or a study on wheels or water or whatever, you could click on use this playlist. And then it's going to bring you right up to that little editing page where it's as if you were creating your very own. And so you are free then to edit this however you want to. Maybe you don't want studies at home, you just want water. And maybe you want to add next week, or whatever. However you want to edit it is fine. Click your class. And then these are, you can look how long this little message is. And these are the videos that we have attached that specifically support studying water, talking about water. You can X out, get rid of one, you can add more, and then you have those same 6 action items. The nice thing about it is you can, when you preview it, it'll have your name on it and look like you wrote this incredible message about studying water at home. And all you did was attach a class to it. It's automatically translated in Spanish. And then you also will get that playlist report. So you can see who's engaging in that. 2 last things about playlists is, this last tab, when you click on playlist, this will show you all the those Monday playlists that we've sent out, all those that we've already sent out. So you can see what we sent out January 25th. If you want to go back and see what we sent out January 4th, you can just find that date that you want to look for. If you're wondering what we're going to be sending out, click on schedule. And the first tab, here's my my lame title of a playlist that I have scheduled to go out on Monday. But to see what Ready Rosie is going to be sending out on upcoming Mondays, you can click upcoming and you can see through Monday the 15th what we will be sending out to your families. So that's a lot about playlists, but remember there are those 2 Loom videos back here on the Getting Started page that will refresh your memory using creating custom playlists or using a pre-created playlist. So a couple things I want to show you in the library. I already showed you how to filter by category, filter by age, filter by location, filter by keyword. But I want to show you when your families click on a video, this is what it looks like for them. They can click the little CC for closed caption, and so they can see, they can watch the video automatically in Spanish, but they can also have subtitles in English, Haitian Creole, Samoan, Vietnamese, Dari, Arabic, Khmer, and Simple Chinese. So if they need those additional languages, we have those with subtitles. You can click right here on the caregiver preview, and this is what your families will see when they click on a video. It says watch it, and then was it helpful or was it not? Do the activity and click we did it. And this is that information that's recorded on that individual student page or that playlist report. And then right here, they can leave a comment. So they could say, this was hard, she couldn't, or she didn't know any letters. All right, and so think about getting that kind of information from a family. And then that parent could write comment, and that comment is gonna come to you, the teacher, in an email with a big red button that says click here to read and respond. And you are also going to get a little envelope, and I'll show you that in just a second, so that you can respond to that parent. As they, if they have left other comments on that video, that will show up right here. Then we also, and this is the same for you, we always explain the activity, why it's important, if their child isn't ready and they need to take it down a notch, if their child needs a challenge. And then we always have a journal talk, a book recommendation, and a way that they could extend the whole learning altogether if they wanted to. So that's what your families see. When you click on a video, the only thing that's different about this page is we've listed what learning outcomes are supported by watching that video. But then everything else is the same. You can see any comments that have been left. And if you have used a video already in a playlist, it will list the name of that playlist that you used that video on. You can also add it to a playlist from here. So maybe you're just exploring the library and you think, I love that video, I'm going to add it to a playlist. So you could just click add to playlist, and then it would be added to that playlist that you were working on. But let's say that you don't want to just create a whole playlist. I just have 1 or 2 children that would benefit from this video. So I can click this share button right here. And then all the children who are assigned to me are going to drop down, and I can come down and select the children that I want to get this video, 1 or however many. I can leave a little message. I can copy this URL and paste it on some other platform that I'm using and click share. And that one video will go to that one or those few children that I chose to share it with. So in addition to that email, here is that little envelope, and I will be the first to say it is teeny tiny. But when you get notification that you have a comment, there'll be a 1 or a 2 or however many comments are there. When you click and respond to the comment in the email, it's going to bring you right here. So I'm going to click on my envelope, and it takes you to your messaging center. And so I can see here that here are the comments that this caregiver, Kevin Roden, has left. We're finding that there are a million things we can do together in the kitchen. We tried this one today and it was a blast. Then he said, what do I do to get my child to like brushing teeth? I feel like it's a fight every day. Any tips? Somewhere up here, he said, we love doing this activity together. Should he be able to read these words yet? And you can see that as the teacher, the teacher came back and said, thanks for your comment. No, he should not be able to read those words. Your modeling reading is what we want. So you can have this great back and forth conversation through this messaging center with your families. If you have sent, like I chose, select children to get that one video, Stomp the Letter. And so if you send a video that way individually, it will show up right here in your message center by that child's name. So just a couple things to highlight real quickly under resources, and go ahead and take a deep breath right now because this has been a lot of information. But remember that on that Getting Started page, that last Loom video is that two-way communication for commenting. But I just want to show you real quickly, we have these ebooks that I think are gorgeous. They can be shared. If you're doing anything virtually, you can share them on Zoom with your class and, talk about the books. Your parents have access to these books as well. And so a lot of our teachers will send out the link or just the name and have them read them, share them at home with their child. And then this document we have created where we have listed the names of the books, and then we've actually linked the activities that you could have your families do, or you could do it in the classroom or do it via Zoom with your children that support the concepts in each of those ebooks. Then just as we just zip through the resources, we do have a certificate right here under Celebrating Success that you can download and edit. Maybe you want to give a shout out to the children who who watched 20 videos in a month, or maybe you just want to give a certificate to every child who watched any video, one or more. Maybe you want to use a certificate for the families who participated in a family workshop. Milva, maybe you want to use a certificate to give a shout out to each of the teachers who get their classrooms created or whatever. Lots of ways that certificate can be used. Family workshops and Give Me 10. I think we're going to focus on these on one of our upcoming calls. But just so you know, you have access to all of these. The orange ones are an hour long, but they're written in a way that, oh, that's right, good. We're going to be focusing on the ebooks next month. Perfect. But these hour-long workshops are written in a way that they can be broken apart, and so they can be spread out over several times. And then we also have 13 of these turquoise ones that we call Give Me 10s. And these are 10-minute little family workshops. Each of these support one or more of the family outcomes, the family engagement outcomes. And so you get the PowerPoint, you get the facilitator guide. If we by chance have a handout, which very few of them have, those are provided, pre and post survey, evaluations, everything that you need. And so particularly if you are getting ready to have kids transition into your program or coming into preschool pre-K, you might want to look at our Ready for Pre-K little family workshop that kind of goes over what goes on then. Or if you have children transitioning from your program maybe into kindergarten, we have a Ready for Kindergarten as well. Then the last thing that I want to just call your attention to is in resources are alignments and curriculum maps. And so you can align to the early Head Start standards, Head Start standards. These are the parent, family, community engagement outcomes, those family outcomes. You can click here and look for your state. And so, decide on the age group that you're looking for and come down here. You can do a Control F and put shapes, put your keyword in, and then look for the activities. These are hyperlinks. And so let's say that this was an objective that you were actually going to focus on next week, learns about self by exploring hands, feet, body, and movement. So here are the videos that are specifically aligned to that. And you could click right here. You could click on that. It will take you directly to that video. And then from here, if you wanted to share it with, with a single child or a single family, you could click here. Or if you wanted to add it to a playlist, you could do it from there as well. So, so that's a lot of information really, really, really fast. The main thing to remember is that almost all of that information is, you can refresh your memory on the Getting Started button. One thing that I want to make sure I point out are all of our research and answer videos. And so we have, I showed you the COVID set, but we have ones on challenging behavior, digital literacy and media use, discipline, family health and well-being, home language, literacy, math, responsive parenting. So we have a huge collection of those little 2-minute or less videos that you can share with families. I know when I was in the classroom, there were so many times that I thought, oh man, I wish I could tell them how to do that, because we know parenting doesn't come with a manual. And now you can send a little video on, how to handle a tantrum or something like that. So what, in our time remaining, what are some questions that you guys have that I can answer?
Teddy, just real quick, how did you pull up that list that you just had? How did that?
I clicked on filter by category.
Oh, okay, the whole list is okay.
Yes, and Shauna, it may be confusing to you because it used to be, up until just like 2 weeks ago, it used to be black with the white print.
Okay.
And they just reformatted it because apparently this is easier for people who have to use e-readers. And so it's like that. So and then you can just scroll down and find, and then here's the research and answer, and then these are the different categories. Social and emotional, these are all the different, the different categories. So what questions or things can I answer for you guys?
So I have a question. Okay, let's say if a parent responds back to a video, and let's say it's not in English, it's in like Spanish or any other language, can Ready Rosie translate it back to us or not? If that's what I just wanted to know on that one.
The answer is no. We're working on that. But right now, if they comment, if I sent, if a Spanish speaking parent responded to one of my comments in Spanish, I would have to copy and paste it and get it translated somewhere. So we don't have that capability yet. So, okay.
No, I just wanted to be reassuring and be like, okay, this is what we can do then. So I can help out our staff when they end up starting to do Ready Rosie.
Yeah. Now the parents, as long as it's Spanish, anything they get from Ready Rosie, and then you guys can translate your custom messages, but everything, the flyers, our family workshops and Give Me Tens are in Spanish. So if they sign up for Spanish, if they click Spanish as their, preferred language, everything we send out to them will automatically go to them in Spanish. But if you are typing a comment to them, I believe it will, in English, it will go to them in English. So, so the commenting feature is still an area that the translating hasn't quite caught up with the other parts of the platform, to be honest. So, all right, what else?
Thank you.
So Kay and Milva, I think you two are in the position to actually support individuals to use the Ready Rosie.
Mhm.
Are there questions that you have as far as that role?
Yes. How do I find out who has access to it right now?
Well, a couple ways. Hold on just a second. Let me get out of this here real quick.
And Teddy, I think we added Milva as an administrator to the McCook district.
I think we did. I'll have to check. But you guys have what we call district or school level access. And so you actually will be able to see the data for all of the sites in your program. Correct, Shauna? Okay. And so your page is going to look a little bit differently. So you'll be able to see how many total people are registered for all of your sites, how many playlists have been sent from your teachers. You'll be able to see the most recent comments left by your parents, and you can download, I don't know why it's not because let me go to a different, sorry. You can download all the comments that have been left, and then you'll be able to see hopefully your little growth pattern of your registered users. Then as you scroll on down, these learning outcomes will reflect everybody in your program. So all the, all the schools or whatever. Same with the family outcomes. And then as you scroll on down, you'll be able to see the most recent teacher activity and the most recent caregiver activity. So that's one of the things that Shauna and I kind of look at as we're, checking data and everything. If we go on and this shows that your most recent teacher activity was 2 months ago, then that tells us that, we need to, reach out and say, what do we need to do or whatever. And same with your caregiver. Then for you guys over here, you'll notice you don't have classrooms and playlists. We can give you teacher access if you want it, but most admins don't want to get down to that nitty-gritty a level. But you do have access to all the resources, everything in the library. But you have schools. And so whether you have one school in your program or district, as we call it, or multiple schools, you'll be able to see how many registered users for each of your sites, how many pending invitations there still are, how many teachers are, at each location. This represents those custom playlists that I was showing you how they can create. And then this shows for each location, each site, the number of videos, those learning outcomes and family outcomes. And then you can start drilling down. And so if you drill on an elementary or on a school, a location, then you can see all the teachers that are there, and you can now see their last activity, when was the last time. And so like for our pretend school here, I can see that the last thing, John Campbell has not been on since almost the end of September. And so then you can see data by individual teacher. And then, as if that isn't enough, you can click on a teacher and you can just keep drilling down levels. And so now you can see all the classrooms that Rhonda has. And I can click on this particular classroom, and I can go all the way down to a specific classroom, and I could even, here's Baylor Bear, I can even go all the way down and click on an individual student to see that individual student data. And you can print every level except this student level. Only the teacher can click the individual student level, but each of those levels that show that data with your district admin access, you have the ability to print that report. Sorry, Shauna, what?
So Kay, do you have this access to the teachers that you're working with at Lord Central?
Me? Are you talking to me?
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many of our teachers have started sending this out yet, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think it might be good. Is Kurt kind of wanting you to help on this, or what role does Kurt want you to play?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's wanted me to oversee it, or he thought some of this stuff could apply to my second step lessons. And I could push some of these videos out and things like that for like the social and emotional part of, for students.
Mhm.
Yeah. So would your role, do you supervise the teachers or do you work side by side with the teachers? Like,
Mm.
I'm just wondering, would the admin role for you fit within the school district?
I don't know. That's a good question. I more or less work side by side. I'm resource. So as far as working with K1 and 2, I do work with preschool a little bit, but I work with them like offering support to kids who need the extra support. And also I do second step. So that's a good question, you know, to try to get them to use this more
Right.
would be good.
Yeah. Yep. Or I could see you having your own classroom and then those kiddos that you're specifically wanting to send extra videos out with, you create your own classroom and you focus on that. I mean, so I could see it working. I just kind of wanted to know like if we needed to get you that admin access, but I think we can hold off on that until maybe Kurt makes a decision on how that's going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And if you, okay, just so you know, or Milva, if you decide that you want teacher access because you want to be able to, you know, send out, you know, content to students or whatever, families, you can have both access. So, okay, if you end up having dual access or Milva, up here by your name, when you drop down, you won't have all this, but it'll say either district, school, or teacher, and then you'll just go back and forth, you know, to between the two views. So right now I'm in my district view, but if I wanted to go to teacher view, so I could create a classroom or I could be assigned to a classroom, I would just click on teacher and go back to that teacher view. And then my options change over here. So that's where you, you know, that's how you can go back and forth under your name. So, okay.
So Kayla, you will actually have admin access and teacher access because you're going to be sending out videos, but you're also going to be an administrator. So you'll have both.
Okay.
Milva, you have, so in your district, Milva, you have 2 family child care home providers signed up as schools. You have to kind of think of it as schools, even though they're family child care home providers.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't have teacher access to those programs. However, if you feel like you could be a supportive role in helping them, like I know one hasn't even gotten a classroom started. If you could be that supportive role to help them get invites sent out to their families and support that one home provider to actually get going, we could give you teacher access so that you could support her. And then the one who does actually have a classroom started, if you could be supportive of her to say, hey, let me know what you're going to be working on this next month at your home childcare, and I'll send out some four videos already scheduled, and they'll go out on Wednesday every week. These are the 4, you know, once a week, these are the videos, and you can, you know, talk them over and maybe help schedule the videos for her. I'm just thinking like when you start getting more familiar with this and you want to physically support them to utilize the platform a little more, because we recognize they're busy. And if you find that this is something that you enjoy doing and you think it's a great resource, I encourage you to kind of be that support person for those people so that you can just take charge and say, hey, I picked out these 4 videos. What do you think? I'll schedule them and send them out to your families. I think they might appreciate that, and it might build that relationship a little bit more. So just kind of thinking how each of your roles can work with what the platform to utilize it the best.
So if I've got 2 and I have other home care providers that are interested, I can help get them registered through
They're
you?
already registered. There's already 2. So if you go to that Ready Rosie site and sign in, I think you should probably be able to access it. And when you come up, you should be shown as an administrator. And then those 2 programs should be listed as the schools under McCook.
Okay. I was asking if I've got another school that wants to be included. Is that easy to do?
Well, right now we have a contract for the classrooms that we have on, so we can't add any classrooms right now until
Okay.
maybe March-ish. So, because
Okay.
what we are going to do is those programs who are not utilizing Ready Rosie, they're going to get removed, which will
Okay.
open up spots to add more. So
Okay.
right now I say, no, you can't add a classroom, although we probably have space to add a classroom, but if you would just not do that for now, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just asking the question. No
Yeah.
problem.
And maybe you and I could talk a little bit more about your specific Ready Rosie district next time we meet.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I have another question.
okay.
Let's say like that I do like what you have said, Shauna, about what I'm able to do with Ready Rosie. What if like we enroll another teacher? Can I let that teacher have access in the teacher way? Like give them the access of that one, and then I can like, is it just one of the teachers that I can give them a sign up, or is it just, it doesn't matter? If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I know what Teddy's going to say. So if you start the classroom, Kayla, then you can add as many teachers to that classroom as you like. You'll just go on the toggle that says add teacher, and you'll add that teacher, and you'll all have access to that classroom.
Mhm. Yeah, let me just show you. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you'll just go right here, or the other district level, and you'll just click this little wheel right here, and then add teachers, and then you'll just put their first name, last name, and their email, and click add, and they are added. So, okay.
And even if like a late teacher comes up, like I can still add them with that, correct?
Mhm.
Yep, you can add and take teachers. Oh, I don't know if you can take teachers off. Can
Can't
you?
take
You can
teachers
add as
off.
many as
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need.
You
Yeah.
can add. You can add.
Okay. The max, it doesn't have like a max, does it?
Not yet. We haven't hit it yet.
We're
so-
just learn, by the way.
I don't think you're gonna have too many, Kayla. You guys will be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know our demo class, we got up to 15 assigned teachers, to one classroom, and it didn't, crash or do anything like that. So I don't think there's I don't think there's a limit, or at least we haven't hit it yet. So,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna call it a night, you guys. It's 5:35. We went 5 minutes over, but those were good questions.
Those are really good questions.
Yep, and I will just let you know, Teddy is always available if you have other questions to reach out, if it's a quick email or whatever you need. A lot of times she'll record a loom and just send it to you and talk you through it, which is really helpful. So you can reach out to her. But if you haven't had a chance to go to that Ready Rosie website and see if you can log in and then just look to see what access you have,
Right.
that's a great place to start.
Mhm.
And then
And
we
I
can go
just
from
put-
there and see what we need to do.
Yeah, I just put my email in the chat, so
Okay.
so that you guys have it. So if you have any questions, just send me an email. All righty.